I showed this to 4 different Romanians and they couldn't believe what they are seeing. I gotta say though, I did cherry pick them. I cherry pick people that don't know anything about American politics. Like, they don't know what a Republican is, they don't even know what a Democrat is. I just showed them, it's like, look, in America, this is what happens in their schools, this is a controversy. And when I showed them the video, they were like, no, this, what do you mean? Like, this doesn't make sense. This is just one school, right? Like, it's not. So let's see what exactly shocked them so much.
My name is Nicole Solis, and I am a mother from Rhode Island who was sued by the teachers union simply because I wanted to know what my kindergartner would be learning in school. And here's how this happened.
Right, so this is a little bit bizarre. Like, normally here, schools do not sue the parents. I don't think I can think of any single case where a parent got sued by the school. Unless maybe, like, you refuse to pay some taxes, like you go to a private school and you don't pay the tutelage, maybe, but even then they probably don't sue you, because that's like a black mark on them. They just, refuse to graduate your kid. If you don't do that, like, they will not release the documents if you don't pay on time. But, even then, they probably won't sue you. Yeah, I can't think of a single case where a parent was sued. Unless, like, maybe for, like, disciplinary stuff. You know, like, the kid set fire to the school or something, and because the kid is underage and he can't respond, and the parents are to blame. But no, actually, no. Even then, it would be the teacher who has the child under their supervision that would be the one taking the blame. Because you are responsible for your kid, but when you send him to school, the teacher becomes responsible. That's like something according to Romanian law. Yeah, no, I can't think of a single case where a teacher would sue a parent. Well, sorry, my bad. Where the school would sue the parents. No, it just doesn't exist.
I asked to see the curriculum, and my school told me I had to submit a public records request.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Like, if you ask to see the curriculum, the teacher is more than happy to tell. Like, the thing is, like, most parents don't care that much. So when you finally get a parent that is interested in the curriculum, you would have the teacher take time off of his, free lunch break or whatever, and actually explain the curriculum. Like, he will go to you through the math, he will go to you through Romanian or what other subject we're talking about, right? Now, of course, like, if they want to hide behind the protocol, like, you manage to find, like, the most asshole teacher on earth, and he's like, well, if the protocol states you must file, then you must file. Okay, like, there are the people that hide behind the bureaucracy.
The curriculum wasn't posted online, and it wasn't available in a school district.
That's also bizarre. Like, we live in the age of technology. Almost everything is posted online. Even the timetable, like, you start at 7:30, you begin with math, and then you have physics, and then you have your LGBTs, and then you have the history class, right? Like, everything is placed online and available for the parents to be able to see.
Then I asked them if they were teaching gender theory, and they told me that they don't call children boys and girls, and they embed the values of gender identity into every classroom, including kindergarten, and they didn't want to answer any of my questions.
Right, so they're ashamed of what they are teaching. They believe that, on one hand, teaching gender theory is paramount for a child's well-being, but at the same time, they know that the parents don't like this, so they are afraid of the parents. So they are hiding behind the bureaucracy in order to be able to instill values upon the children. Even the creationists wouldn't do this, by the way. The creationists that were trying to teach children that evolution doesn't exist and that the earth is 6,000 years old, they were upfront with the parents about what they were doing. Now, there were lawsuits based on that, and eventually it was pushed out of school. But again, like, they weren't trying to be this subversive about it. They tried being a little bit subversive by rebranding creationism into what they called intelligent design. And it was pretty much the same stuff, but at the end of the day, no, like they didn't lie to the parents. And if a parent said, like, hey, I want to teach my kid evolutionism, that wasn't the problem. Like, they would just say, okay, well, at this school we teach intelligent design, and you could take him to another school that didn't.
Further, they told me that they would communicate with me only through public records requests, and that is the only way I could get my questions answered. And when I did submit the public records request that they told me to submit, and I submitted hundreds because I had hundreds of questions, my school board then put my name on the agenda of a public school board meeting and held a public school board meeting to discuss suing me for submitting the request that they told me to submit.
Yeah, so we don't know, like, if what she is saying is the whole picture, but what I'm assuming they may have done is trying to sue her for obstruction. I don't think it's called obstruction. It's basically like flooding the school with so many requests that you are hampering their operation to respond to other people, right? So assuming that this is what's happening here, but still, like, other Romanians who have watched this, and as I mentioned in the beginning, like 4 other people have been shown this video, they couldn't believe it. It's like, what is this country? What is going on? Like, why is this even a thing? Like, in our, more Eastern European mindset, the very notion that challenging a parent on how to raise his child is unthinkable. Like, who the fuck does the teacher think he is? Like, the teacher doesn't have the same relationship with the child like the parents have. Like, do you honestly think that a teacher who is anointed by the government, right? Like, just because he did, 4 years in a university, if even that, all of a sudden he has more knowledge and understanding about what's good for your child than the parent themselves? Like, for thousands of years, parents have educated their children, but luckily, we are now into the age of enlightenment under the Democrat stewardship, where the teacher actually knows better. Like they have worked and perfected this superhuman entity called the teacher to be far wiser and more understanding than the parent itself. It's very bizarre, right? Especially when this really infuriates the left. If you say that parents own their children, they view it as oppressive, right? So they view it that children need to be liberated from their parents. This is what Engels said. It's a communist notion. But the reason you say that parents own their children is not like a master owns a slave. It's more like a warden, right? Like they have wardenship over the child. And that is because if the child commits a crime, or if the child, like, breaks your window, who's going to pay for that? Oh, that's right, the parent. Oh, I see. So you want the parent to have responsibilities for the child, but at the same time, you don't want the parent to be able to educate the child any way they see fit. Like, I am willing to bet that if these, like these atheists, they're happy that the United States has a separation between church and state. But there are other countries where they don't. So imagine, like, you're sending your kid to school and they would be indoctrinated into a religion you disagree with, right? Like they would teach intelligent design on your child. And you're like, no, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in religion. Why, I want my kid to learn evolution. Why are you doing this? It's kind of like that, but for some reason, they don't want to empathize. They don't want to be tolerant with other people's grievances. They just want to do their own thing. And I guess, like, this ideology needs to exist everywhere, right? Like, there needs to be no place where the ideology doesn't exist. From the cradle to the grave, you need to get the message. Like, the message needs to be loud and clear, whether you're watching football, whether you're reading comic books, whether you're playing video games, whether you're at kindergarten. You know what this reminds me of? When I grew up under communism in Romania, unironically, like at kindergarten, they would tell you how amazing the grade year leader is. During schools, you would hear about how amazing the grade year leader is. You would open the television, you would hear how amazing the grade year leader is. You see where this is going? It's like, and it was the same under Nazism and fascism and any other authoritarian regime, under Mao. Like, literally every institution, every place needed to have the message. And this is what most people have a problem with. What if I disagree with the message? Or parts of the message? Or what if I believe that my child is too young to understand and grasp the wisdom and the importance of the message? Not to mention, this is kindergarten, right? And you're already... by the way, like, what if my child believes he can be of a different race? Would you allow that? Why not? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.